Coming up on Lexington Now, beware of scammers, pet licensing, and safety in school zones. This and more up next on this week's edition of Lexington Now. I'm Sherelle Roberts, and welcome to another edition of Lexington Now, where we take a look at the news that shapes your urban county government. With ever-changing technology, scammers are coming up with more and more sophisticated ways to steal your money. We talk with Lexington Police Detective Mike Helsby about scams in partnership with Radio Lexington. We're giving you an inside look at our radio interview.
We investigate everything financial from embezzlement to credit card fraud, check fraud, counterfeit credit cards, counterfeit checks, counterfeit money, employee theft if the dollar amounts are significant. Anything financial or fraud related, we handle.
Detective Mike Helsby is telling GTV3 and Radio Lexington about the dozens of money and identity theft related crimes that he and a unit of 6 people at the Lexington Police Department investigate each day.
The volume of reports we get has steadily gone up just because of the opportunities that are out there now.
He says there are some things that you can do to protect yourself.
You can set up your credit card so if it's used, you can get alerts via text message or email. You can set that up through your credit card companies, and just check your bank statements. People go months, even years without checking their bank statements. They just assume that their money's still in their account.
That covers the basics, but he says there are some pretty serious scams that you need to be on the lookout for.
The IRS scam says that you owe money to the IRS for back taxes, and the scammer will require you to pay either using a Western Union, MoneyGram, or going out and buying a prepaid Green Dot or debit card. As far as the warrant scams, the scammers will act as though they are a sheriff's deputy or a law enforcement official. They will tell the individual you have a warrant for non-payment of fines or whatever reason they make up, and they allow you to pay a fine over the phone immediately to get out of being arrested, as they say.
The final scam is the lover scam, and in this one, a scammer starts an online relationship with the victim. As
the relationship continues, they'll start asking them to either reship items or make transactions for them on credit cards that arrive in the mail, things of that nature. And basically what the scammer is doing is using this person as a mule to transfer stolen goods or obtain stolen goods. They usually say that there's some sort of they're on a mission trip or they're assisting in a third world country with children, and that's the reason for the stolen goods to be shipped to those areas. We've had people involved with these scams that over 2 years have never actually face-to-face met this individual, but they've sent thousands of dollars of stolen goods and property overseas.
Helsby says people's hearts get broken with this scam, and sometimes they even end up breaking the bank.
We have individuals who have wired money. They say it's for various different reasons, and it all sounds good: medicine, shoes, clothing, food, donations. It all sounds reputable, but when you actually get to the bottom of it, it's the scammer just asking for the money being wired, and then the money being spent on whatever the scammer wants to buy, basically.
For more information about how to protect yourself and your property, log on to the city's website and the police page. It's lexingtonky.gov/police. Did you know that most pets in Lexington require a license in order to comply with city ordinance? Well, they do. Here are some tips that you can use to help keep your pets legal.
Hi, I'm Officer Timothy Brown with Lexington Fed Animal Care and Control. I am the Public Information Officer. Lexington Fed Animal Care and Control, we are contracted out for the city to provide enforcement of all local and state city ordinances and making sure that all of the animals in Fayette County are well cared for. Officers respond to various calls, complaints that may come in of animal neglect, animal cruelty, dogs running at large, sick or injured wildlife, So we're out, 24/7, 7 days a week, making sure that any complaint that comes into our facility is handled in a timely manner. Every animal that is 6 months or older is required to have a city license, and that is actually a state law. And then also, in addition to the city license, it's a requirement that you are supposed to have the rabies tag as well. So then you also have to have the rabies vaccine. For an altered animal, spay or neutered, it's only $8 for the city license. If it's an unaltered animal, then it's $40. Most of the veterinarians participate in the city licensing program, but there are some that do not as of yet. And in that manner, anybody can come to the Lexington Animal Care and Control building on 1600 Old Frankfort Pike, and they can purchase the city license with proof that the rabies vaccine has been administered and with proof of that tag.
In addition to making sure your pets meet all the legal requirements, you also want to make sure that they stay safe, especially during these harsh winter weather temperatures. Here are some tips that you can use to help keep your pets safe, not only in the wintertime, but year-round.
How about it's cold outside?
I'm Officer Timothy Brown, the Public Information Officer for Lexington Fed Animal Care and Control. And today we wanted to show you exactly what it is because we do have the cold winter months coming up. So we want to show you the proper way to care for your animal if you're going to be leaving them outside. Because most people consider pets, part of their family. So, we would recommend you bring it in at all costs. But there are certain situations and breeds that people might want to leave their animals outside. So in this situation, this is exactly what we're going to show you the proper way to leave them outside. Okay. All right. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to check to make sure the dog has food and water. All animals in Fayette County have to make sure you have fresh water provided for them at all times. So this is a fresh bowl of water. If it freezes over or something like that, then we have to make sure that we actually remove any frozen water and provide the fresh water for them. We got some food as well, just to make sure that the animal has its nutrition. Then if we go over here towards the shelter, this is a proper shelter because it consists of 4 walls. It consists of a roof and a floor on it as well. And then inside, we're going to make sure that it has the straw, hay, or wood shavings. And as you can see, this has the straw. So, and then you want to make sure that you provide a good type of shade for the animal. So a tree, the side of a house, or something like that where it's well constructed and it's keeping the elements away from the animal, rain, thunderstorm, anything like that. That's what we want to make sure that we are trying to eliminate those type of risks from the animal. And this is it. And then pretty much we've got a good surrounding so that just in case it does rain, there is no mud creating around the animal's housing. So this is the exactly type of shelter that the outside environment that we would, recommend every person who's going to be leaving their animal outside to be in. We try to refrain from removing animals on the first time because we definitely want to educate. That is our main focus, is to educate the people and let them know that this is the wrong thing, and so then we're going to try to do a corrective action, which would consist of a recheck. So an officer would come out, if we feel that it is not the proper way to leave an animal outside, we're going to address the issue while we're there, and we're going to educate them and let them know that this is not correct, and then we're going to do a recheck. And the recheck would consist of, if it's, it just depends on the situation. If it's a dire need where we need to go ahead and remove the animal, sometimes we might have to make that decision with prior approval to remove the animal. All this information is on our website, which is www.lfacc.org. As well, all the city ordinances are on the government website. You can call us at 859-255-9033.
For more information about how to keep your pets and your entire family safe during cold temperatures and other extreme weather, you can log on to the city's website. It's lexingtonky.gov. And coming up after the break, we'll discuss the importance of safety in school zones.
have an abundance of beauty and natural resources here in the Bluegrass. More miles of running water than any state in the continental U.S. You may not know it, but all our creeks and streams catch water directly from storm sewers on our streets. That means when someone tosses a cigarette butt on Main or Vine, chances are good it'll end up in Town Branch. Leave some pet waste on a sidewalk near Versailles Road, it goes into Wolf Run Creek. So please, don't trash the Bluegrass.
Hey class, what's the one number for City Hall?
311.
What's the number you call with questions for garbage pickup?
311.
What if you have questions about any city service?
311. Your one call for City Hall.
Call now Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. until 8 p.m. 311 is your one call for City Hall.
Welcome to Your Health, starring Your Hands. On today's show, washing your hands. If people don't wash their hands often, especially when they're sick, they can spread germs directly to other people or onto surfaces that others touch. And before you know it, everyone has come down with something. It's important to wash your hands frequently with good soapy water. Here's some hand washing tips. Wash your hands after using the bathroom. Wash your hands after coughing or blowing your nose. Wash your hands before eating, serving, or preparing food. Wash your hands after playing with your pets or touching other animals. Wash your hands after outdoor activities. Wash your hands before and after visiting someone who's sick. Wash your hands when they get dirty. And wash your hands after changing those diapers. Thanks for watching Your Health, and remember, wash those hands frequently.
Welcome back to the show. It's always important to use caution in school zones, but it's even more important during the winter. Here's some tips that you can use to keep yourself and school children safe.
Distractions are the #1 reasons for most collisions. And when you put children in the mix or pedestrians crossing the road in the mix, that distraction can cost a life.
Lives are at stake every day on the roadway, especially in neighborhoods and around school zones. Recently, a grandmother and a 6-year-old were struck by distracted drivers in 2 separate incidents. Thankfully, no one died, but police are saying enough is enough.
Put those cell phones down. Quit talking on the cell phone, quit texting on the cell phone, put all distractions away, whether it's putting on your makeup, drinking a cup of coffee, put everything away before you enter that school zone so you can give it 100% of your attention.
To help drivers remember to follow the rules, Officer Alvin Cook says police have stepped up their efforts in school zones.
One of the things we've done, school zones are properly marked with signage. The speed limit is reduced. A lot of times you'll see the speed limit signs flashing. Other times the signs say reduce your speed when children are present. So you kind of got to look out for children.
But school zones aren't the only area of focus. New Circle Road and other high-speed thoroughfares are under the radar, as well as neighborhoods. Officers are using all of their resources to help drivers to remember the law.
Some of those things have been, posting of new speed limit signs, making sure they're visible to the people, making sure they know the maximum speed on New Circle and the minimum speed. Also things of the nature of speed bumps that we put out in neighborhoods to get people to slow down.
And if you aren't a speeder, there's a chance that you might be a little impatient about clearing off your windows of ice and snow in these cold weather months. Cook says this is something police are looking out for too.
Not only clean your windshield off, but clean your side mirrors off, your side windows off, and your rear window off. Also, if you get a chance, dust the snow off the top of your car. Now, you think that may sound funny, but it helps the visibility of the person behind you.
All in all, slowing down is important. Whether it's slowing down to clean ice and snow off your car or slowing down to follow the speed limit, it's important, says Cook. He says it could save you money and fines, and ultimately, it could actually save a life. For more information about driving and school zone safety, you can log on to the city's website. It's lexingtonky.gov. Lexington has a rich and varied history, and producer Randy Rosenbaum takes us back to a time in Lexington when orphanages not only existed, but they were also segregated. We take a look back at 1892 and Lexington's Colored Orphans Home.
The Colored Orphan Home was incorporated with E. Bell Mitchell Jackson as president, Emma O. Warfield as vice president, and Ida W. Bates, secretary, Priscilla Lacey as treasurer, and 11 other women members of the Ladies Orphans Home Society. Captain Robert H. Fitzhugh, who was white, was a professional philanthropist for the home. Support came from bequests, fundraising, and donation. The home was located on Georgetown Pike, which is now Georgetown Street in Lexington. The board members served as matrons of the home and donated food and supplies. The home took in orphaned and abandoned children, a few elderly women, and half-orphans, children with only one parent. The parent of a half-orphan was charged for the child's board at the home, and board members determined when a child would be returned to its parents. And there were a few adoptions and foster care placements, but the goal was to educate the children and teach them an industrial trade in preparation for adulthood. In addition to classwork, house chores, gardening, the children were taught kitchen duties, cooking, carpentry, chair caning, laundry, sewing, and the children made all of their own clothes and linen at the home, and they also did shoemaking and repairs. The shoes were made for the children and also sold to the community. The home continued in operation until 1988, when it became the Robert H. Williams Cultural Center. For more information on the Arts and Cultural Center, be sure and visit the website below. Thanks for watching.
For more information about this story and others in Lexington's history, you can log on to the city's website, lexingtonky.gov. During the winter, snow and ice are the headline grabbers, but there is something that's just as hazardous that doesn't make as many headlines, but it can still be deadly. I'm talking about the cold. Here's some information about how you can keep yourself safe this winter.
Like it or not, winter is upon us, and it often brings hazards like snow and ice. But there is another danger that is not as frequently addressed, and that is the cold. During especially cold weather, it is best to stay indoors. But if you must venture out, here are some guidelines you should follow to stay safe. Dress warmly in layered clothing, including a hat, a scarf, or knit mask to cover your face and mouth, sleeves that are snug at the wrist, mittens, a water-resistant coat, and water-resistant boots. Avoid exertion, as cold weather puts an extra strain on the heart. Those with heart disease or high blood pressure should follow their doctor's advice about shoveling snow or performing other activities in the cold. When outside, avoid walking on ice and keep your steps and walkways as free of snow and ice as possible. Be on the lookout for signs of hypothermia and frostbite, two common cold weather-related health problems. Warning signs of hypothermia, which is an abnormally low body temperature, include shivering, exhaustion, confusion, fumbling hands, memory loss, slurred speech, and drowsiness. If you detect symptoms of hypothermia, seek medical care immediately. Get the victim into a warm room and remove any wet clothing. Warm the center of the body first with an electric blanket if available. Otherwise, use skin-to-skin contact under loose, dry layers of blankets, clothes, towels, or sheets. Warm beverages can help increase the body temperature, but do not use alcoholic beverages. Warning signs of frostbite or an injury to the body caused by freezing include redness or pain in any skin area, white or grayish-yellow skin, skin that feels unusually firm or waxy, and numbness. If you detect symptoms of frostbite, seek medical care immediately. Get the victim into a warm room and immerse the affected area in warm, not hot, water. Do not rub the frostbitten area with snow or massage it, as this can cause more damage. Do not use a heating pad, heat lamp, or the heat of a stove, fireplace, or radiator for warming, as the frostbitten areas are numb and can be easily burned. These procedures are not substitutes for medical care, and all emergencies should be reported to a physician or healthcare provider. If you follow these simple rules and exercise caution, you can weather the worst winter has to offer and come out healthy on the other side when the warm breezes of spring start to blow.
For more information about keeping yourself, your family, and your property safe this winter, you can log on to the city's website. It's lexingtonky.gov. It's going to be another busy week here in the urban county government. Here's a quick look at what's on your schedule, but for a complete listing of meetings and events, you can visit the city's website. You know where to find us, lexingtonky.gov. That's all for this week's edition of Lexington Now. We'll return next week with more news from your urban county government. But in the meantime, you can keep up with what we're doing by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. You can also get 24/7 traffic updates by following us on our Twitter handle. It's @LexRex. For the staff and producers at GTV3, I'm Sherelle Roberts, and that's it for now.